I wish to be very clear on one point, that this measure is not an ayuda program. It does not involve cash distribution or discretionary assistance. What it proposes is something even better than ayuda, a structured social pricing mechanism that directly reduces a fixed and an unavoidable household expense, electricity. In short, Madam Chair, the joint resolution is a good start, but legislation is the finish line. If we truly believe that access to electricity is a necessity and not just a privilege, and if we are truly sincere in shielding the poorest household from the relentless rise of energy costs, then this protection cannot rest on policy discretion alone. It must be written on stone, which is the law. This bill has long been a priority measure of this representation, and I appreciate the Chair's leadership in allowing it to be formally examined on merits today. At the outset, I wish to state that I am fully aware of the Joint Resolution Number 1, Series of 2026, recently entered into and issued by the Department of Energy, the Department of Social Welfare and Development, and the Energy Regulatory Commission, which institutionalized the automatic registration of qualified poor-piece households under the Lifeline Rate Subsidy Program. This is a welcome development, Madam Chair. During the DOE and ERC budget hearings last year, I repeatedly emphasized the need for this measure. I appreciate that these concerns were taken seriously and that these agencies acted in a manner consistent with the objectives long advanced by this representation. However, Madam Chair, administrative measures, even the good ones, are not a substitute for legislation. It may be amended, suspended, or withdrawn without congressional participation. What is extended today may be constrained tomorrow. This is why I am still firmly pushing for the enactment of this measure to anchor the Lifeline rate firmly in the law and protect it from shifting policy priorities. Apart from the stability that a legislated Lifeline rate subsidy will bring, allow me to highlight other key strengths of the proposed measure, even compared with the joint resolution. First, the bill provides stronger relief. Previously, one distribution utility applied a lower threshold for one to avail of the 100% discount, with the current range between 0 to 20 kilowatt hours per month, meaning a household must not exceed 20 kilowatt hours or 300 pesos, highlighting how minimal the consumption level is to be eligible to the full subsidy. At present, the uniform national threshold introduced by the joint resolution is 0 to 50 kilowatt hours per month in order to qualify for a 100% discount. But this level, Madam Chair, of consumption is unrealistic for most households, even among the poorest. It barely covers basic lighting and minimal appliance use. In contrast, Senate Bill number 63 mandates full subsidy up to 135 kilowatt hours. At this point, Madam Chair, I would like to place on record that the intended and correct consumption threshold para sa bill na ito ay 200 kilowatt hours per month. Nagkaroon po ng typographical error, which more accurately reflects actual household consumption needs and prevailing living conditions. Second, the joint resolution does not guarantee uniform protection nationwide. The benefits under the resolution still depend on the monthly electricity consumption threshold set by the ERC and the distribution utilities approved structure. This means that the level of protection may vary from one area to another. The bill, on the other hand, establishes a clear national standard for the qualifiers, for those who qualifies, and what level of consumption is fully subsidized, reducing disparities and confusion. Third, this measure strengthens accountability and transparency by requiring ERC to submit annual reports to Congress placing the program with full congressional oversight. Finally, Madam Chair, the bill provides a clear funding mandate, ensuring that implementation is supported through the General Appropriations Act and not left vulnerable to shifting administrative priorities. As I proposed during the budget deliberations for fiscal year 2026 national budget, the funds for this can be withdrawn from a rational reallocation of funds currently devoted to certain AYUDA programs, which according to the Commission on Audit reports are vulnerable to abuse and arbitrary distribution. Redirecting a portion of these funds toward clear and tangible programs such as this ensures that the public resources are used in a more predictable, transparent, and accountable manner, and that assistance really reaches households in a form that directly lowers their cost of living. I wish to be very clear on one point, that this measure is not an AYUDA program. It does not involve cash distribution or discretionary assistance. What it proposes is something even better than AYUDA, a structured social pricing mechanism that directly reduces a fixed and an unavoidable household expense, electricity. In short, Madam Chair, the joint resolution is a good start, but legislation is the finish line. If we truly believe that access to electricity is a necessity and not just a privilege, and if we are truly sincere in shielding the poorest household from the relentless rise of energy costs, then this protection cannot rest on policy discretion alone. It must be written on stone, which is the law. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you so much, Senator Marcoleta. And then we'll also hear from Senator Gatchalian.
Thank you very much, Madam Chairperson. Madam Chairperson, we actually, this is the a few years ago, we extended the lifeline rate to 50 years and also adjusted the qualifications of the lifeline rate. Dati po ang lifeline rate, ang qualified, if I'm getting the data, is about 20 kilowatt, no? Before, no, around 20 kilowatt before. So anong nangyayari dahil 20 kilowatt, pag ang consumption mo is below 20 kilowatt, nakaka-avail ka ng lifeline rate. Pero we also detected at that time yung mga condominium sa BGC, condominium sa Rockwell, dahil hindi naman tinitirahan ng mga owners dahil meron silang bahay sa Forbes o bahay sa ibang lugar, hindi nila nakukonsume yung 20 kilowatt. So, yung mga condominiums, nag-a-avail tuloy ng, or qualified sila, maka-avail ng lifeline rate. No? So, when we extended the lifeline rate policy to 50 years, we also made qualifications on who can avail of the lifeline rate. Kaya pinasok ho namin doon na dapat automatic ka na pag 4-piece ka. And then at the same time, there's a mechanism for the utilities to also include marginalized constituents of those utilities. Nagkaroon kasi ng aberration in the past because it's also solely based on consumption. And because it's solely based on consumption, that even houses or high-end houses in high-end subdivisions, kahit hindi ho qualified pero hindi nila nare-reach yung threshold, binibigyan pa rin sila ng lifeline rate. We have to understand that this lifeline rate is not free. No? Kinukuha to sa atin lahat who is not part of the lifeline rate. So in other words, we're the ones paying for those subsidies. So it's important that we have to make sure that those qualified are really qualified and deserves to be qualified, or else we are just subsidizing houses in Forbes, houses in condominiums na hindi naman yun ang intention ng batas. And I thank very good Senator Marcoleta for sponsoring the bill. This is really, it's good to talk about the thresholds because as we all know, gumagalaw po ang consumption patterns, nag-evolve po ang consumption patterns, and this is a good time to talk about those changes in terms of consumption patterns. So thank you very much, Madam Chairperson.
Thank you for that history, Senator Gatchalian. Senator Gatchalian is our former chairman of the Committee on Energy. So I'm happy to have these energy experts with us in this hearing today. So let's now proceed with our resource persons. I want to give you the number so that we can use this as a guideline to regulate our time, no? Because we have to end in an hour. So the idea here is similar to our earlier deliberation on the waste to energy bill, is to give everyone a chance to make their position known. We will have a more lengthy discussion later on. So I ask our colleagues to bear with me as I try to moderate our time involved here, no? Also a reminder, because there are different resource persons now compared to earlier. Please do not read your position papers to us. That is supposed to be submitted ahead of time so that we can review them. I would like you to highlight what is in your position papers, what you want us to focus on, and then you can just make reference to the entire position paper, which can be subject of a later discussion, because we will not have time to listen to you to read your position papers to us today. So, and I don't like it done in that way, because we should be using this time to focus on the issues and to give time to our colleagues to ask a few questions. So we'll call on DOE first, followed by ERC, and the third would be DSWD. So from DOE, we have Attorney Myra Fierro-Roa. I think you're the only one here from Mr. Antonio Barcelona, OIC of Power Market Division. Is it you who will be presenting? Or it's you? Okay, you'll be the one. Okay, so go ahead, ASEC, and then we'll proceed from there. Go ahead.
Good afternoon, Honorable Chairperson, and to the members of the committee and other invited guests. The DOE appreciates the noble intent of the proposed measure, which is to enhance the implementation of the Lifeline Rate Program. Under this measure, the subsidy for marginalized electricity end users shall be shouldered by the government through the General Appropriations Act. In this manner, not only the marginalized end users will benefit from the enhanced law, but also the other segment of the electricity consumers who provide the subsidy will also be spared from paying the cost of the subsidy. To further enhance the measure, we respectfully propose that there is a need to identify an entity who will manage the fund, including the manner of proper disbursement. Also, to provide an actual ceiling, because what was proposed is the threshold of 135 or 200 per kilowatt hour, but we would also propose to put a threshold in terms of monetary value, like 2,000 of the consumer bill, whichever is lower, because there will be tendencies that the amount shall be higher despite not breaching the consumption limit of the 135 or 200 kilowatt per hour. Also, Madam Chair, we also recommend that the legislative will allow the government agencies such as the DOE, the ERC, the DSWD, the PSA, and the DILG or other concerned agencies to conduct periodic review of the program, including the threshold, in order to ensure the sustainability of this program of this subsidy, Mr. Chair. That's all in gist our position. Thank you.
We will. We have taken note of your concerns. As a matter of fact, the reason why we peg it at least 200 kilowatt hours, because initially our thinking was that we just have to put a amount, let's say 2,000 pesos, but that would be dependent on how much the price of electricity will become in some future years. Providing, for example, a median price of 2,500. Kasi hindi pare-pareho po yung price lalo na po sa ating mga outlying regions or areas where ang ating suppliers po are electric cooperatives. Alam po ninyo yung prices nila talagang mas mahal kaysa dito sa Meralco. Sa Meralco siguro mga 10 pesos to 11 pesos per kilowatt hour, but you will be surprised in other areas Magre-range po from 14 to even 21 pesos per kilowatt hour. So naglagay na lang po kami ng, let's say, threshold of 200 pesos. So palagay nyo kung ano man yung median price niyan. Yun po actually yung subsidy na maaring ma-receive ng isang household beneficiary. The reason why we thought of this, in lieu of the several social and economic interventions na ginawa po ng ating pamahalaan since let's say 2022 to 2025, nandyan po yung TUPAD, nandyan yung AIX, nandyan yung AKAP, lahat-lahat po. Binilang ko po yung 22 interventions yan. Lagpas po yan ng about 225 billion pesos. Yung 4 lamang po dyan or 5 will surely be already placed and maybe 190 to 195 billion. Ito pong estimate namin dito sa 200 kilowatt hours. This is only about 100 to 120 billion pesos. So easily po, alam niyo matitipid natin. Siguro about 100 billion po matitipid natin. So that's why we thought of this, Madam Chair.